Flirties. On the show today is Sam Ogborn. Sam is a marketing strategist, creator, and pop culture commentator who has a unique lens on how the internet shapes the ways we connect. With her background in brand storytelling and digital culture, Sam breaks down the narratives we're constantly consuming, from viral videos to the latest advertising stunts. And today we're diving into all things pop culture, social media, and the future of dating in a digital world. Hi, Sam, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. I love how it's like, and the future of dating. Like, and let's just like tack that on.
Oh, we're going to be talking about AI today.
Yeah, great. I love it. There's so much
Just a
going
little bit.
on. Yeah.
A lot. I have been going down many rabbit holes as of late
Awesome.
for different reasons, but also to prepare for this interview. I mean, I've been following you for a while, watching many of your videos. I just thank you so much for being on the show today.
I'm so excited to be here. And I'm so excited to talk about all these things that sometimes I don't get a chance to talk about.
Yes, because you are, I mean, let's learn a little bit more about you here. At the top, you talk a lot about marketing on your channel, sort of brand advertising, how to build a brand, and all of this. I feel like there's so many parallels to dating.
I use dating as a comparison all the time. In fact,
Yeah.
it's when I was in the corporate world, it was one of my favorite comparisons to make because it was one of the easiest ways for people to understand
Yeah.
how marketing works and
How did
sales.
you get and sales, yes. How did you get started in this?
Well, I actually so I just studied journalism in school.
Okay.
And I don't want to age myself, but this was like back around when the recession was happening when I
Mhm.
graduated and
Mhm.
I needed a job. So I got offered a sales job, like a new business job in an agency.
Yes.
And I took it because I needed a job.
Mhm.
And I went to go work in it and I hated sales, like
Mm.
absolutely despised it. And so I started to learn social media. I would pick up social media on the side. I would start to teach myself Instagram, or not Instagram at the time, it was Pinterest and
Mm.
Twitter.
Yeah.
And over time, I started to find ways to become an expert in it so that I could get into it in a way because I didn't
Yeah.
want to do sales. It was like the
Yeah.
bane of my existence. Even to this day, any kind of like selling to me makes me super uncomfortable. It's weird.
Oh my gosh, you have so much in common. I was also in school transitioning into the workplace around the time of the Great Recession, 2008. And so
Yep.
I just decided, let me go to grad school. Let me just
Wow.
do that instead. And I also really don't like selling.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
but
weird.
it's a problem when you're a business owner.
Mhm. It is. You have to get
Yeah.
comfortable with it, and I still feel
Oh
very
my
much
gosh.
uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I have other part-time jobs, and this
Yeah.
is still sometimes an expensive hobby, but I love it.
Yeah. Right.
I can't
Exactly.
stop. I know I've heard so many different things, like maybe you've heard too, that selling a serving. That's one is that has always stuck with me. I'm like, well, maybe, but also selling is just selling.
I think serving is selling, in my opinion,
Ah.
because I think you
Oh,
have to have value in order to, and once again, this goes back to dating in a lot of ways,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You have to serve and you have to show who you are and how you think in order for someone to be interested.
Okay, okay. This is yeah. All right, let's get into this. I thought it would be fun to read. I just pulled this from Match.com's website as we're
Oh,
talking about
okay.
branding a little bit, which kind of seems inauthentic when we're talking about ourselves, and yet in a way this is exactly what we're kind of going to kind of be doing when we're
Mhm.
dating. All right, so the Match.com website says, you know what you want, we're here to help you find it. If you're looking for something real, an authentic connection that is built on deep conversations, quality time, and shared goals, you're not afraid to commit and you're not afraid to be honest about what you need for the long term. And above all, you know that your best self deserves to be with someone else's best self. From initial spark to the first date and beyond, we're with you every step of the way. Join Match today and start dating authentically.
Hmm. Sounds
Hmm.
like a lot of shit to me.
I want to get your marketing perspective on it. Like this is right from their homepage, right? Like
Yeah.
how is this language a little coded? Like if we're gonna read between the lines, what is Match saying to us?
Yeah. It sounds like they're saying you want an authentic connection, show up as your best self. It's a lot of jargon for not saying a lot, to be honest. And I
Yeah,
think it shows just how challenging dating is right now
yeah,
because I think if anyone were to read that, it probably wouldn't resonate with them. I think an easier way to talk about dating right now would be like, there's a lot of shit out there.
Hmm.
and you're trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you a bunch of different options that you can choose from to decide who fits you best. And
Yeah.
if it doesn't work, we're here for you, kind of
Hmm.
thing. Like, just cut the bullshit and get to the like real heart of what's going on. I think there are a lot of things in there too that rub me the wrong way, like saying that you need to show up as your best self. I think that's an issue with dating because everyone does show up as their best self. They create
Hmm.
these profiles as this idealized version of themselves. But
Yeah.
then when it comes time to true vulnerability and really connecting with someone, that's where things become troubling. You also have these
Hmm.
dating apps who they've created this environment of the grass is always greener and things always being better out there,
Yeah.
and they try not to look at that. They like turn their heads. They're like, that's not what we represent. And it's like,
Hmm.
that's not really true. You
Yeah.
do enable that behavior and you've created that behavior. So if I were a dating app or I was providing a dating service, I would want to be honest about what service I'm actually providing. And I would
Mm.
also want to be clear too that there's a lot of frogs out there in dating,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not that like everyone that signs up is this like great person. Like, let's not romanticize it. We all know that dating apps suck. Like, can
Mhm.
someone just come out and say it and then maybe show why they're different?
Yeah, I mean, Match.com, the owner of Tinder and a bunch of the other dating apps, of course, like the website Match.com and
What
a
do you
bunch of
think about that?
others. Yeah, I feel like it because the Flirties, everyone listening, like they're the people showing up to the dating apps and on their dates with like some questions they want to ask, even if they're nervous. They're putting at least some effort into their profile, selecting their pictures. What am I going to say? Like they're really trying to find their person. They're trying to
Mhm.
find that relationship or at least date in a way where it feels more focused or more intention so we don't just kind of get lost in this whole process and right someone else's needs become our needs kind of thing, like we can really stay true to ourselves. But I agree with what you're saying, like it paints just this kind of it's just going to happen, right? Like we have everything you need here, it's going to work out without really giving credence to a lot of the difficulties you're going to experience. Like what happens when like the match just falls off or the conversation falls off, or what happens when I'm swiping and I'm not getting any matches? What are you going to do about the catfish profiles and the AI and the bots? Like how are you going to actually help me have a quality user experience so that I can feel like I can be really authentic and also find people that are also showing up authentically? Like, what are you actually doing to make that happen?
I agree. And I got into a little tiff with someone a few weeks ago on dating apps because I do think that there's a lot of dating apps that are coming out that do have
Mm,
pure intentions and that do want to
yeah,
help people. But I think we can all acknowledge that just like in marketing, when you're testing a brand and you're
yeah,
evaluating a brand, you don't just listen to what they say, you watch what they do. And in
yeah,
dating, you have to do the same thing. When you go on dates with someone, you have to understand,
mm,
do their actions align with what they're telling me their values are? Are they putting that into
absolutely.
practice? It's the same thing with brands. So if I, similarly to what you're saying, if I were a dating app or I were providing this kind of service, what I would do instead is help you along your dating journey
Hmm.
and help you make the best decisions for yourself as you go on the journey to
Yeah,
help you evaluate how you find that person instead of just saying, here are a bunch of people on a silver platter. They might be lying about who they are. They might be lying about their intentions or their values, but you're going to have to figure that out for yourself. Like,
right.
where is the dating app or service that actually helps you through dating? I would love to see it.
I would love to see it too. Should we start it?
Yeah.
Should
This is like
what would
every, like
we?
this is like every, like, night with my friends, we're like, "Let's just have a glass of wine." Oh my god, we should do this because 'Cause I'm single, my
Right.
friends are single, and we're like,
Hmm.
"Let's just do it," you know? But
That's
I'm
when all the best business ideas
yeah.
come to me, I swear. In the late night hours,
Yes.
after a glass of Pinot or something, I feel like I can take over
Exactly.
the world, right?
Right.
Solve everyone's dating
And then the
woes.
next day, nothing happens. It's like, "Okay, we're just back to
Oh
normal."
gosh.
But yeah.
Back to normal, back to normal. Let me pour my coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So I want to stay here for a minute and from your experience in marketing and sales too, just learn about like how companies build brands. Like I'm really curious to hear a little bit about that, whether we're talking about Match, whether we're talking about another company, whether we're talking about any company that's kind of like in the dating relationship space that is going to be selling us something, probably.
I have so many parallels to dating, and this isn't even intentional. It's just how I think about marketing. When you have an idea for a brand or you want to start a brand, it's really not about you. It's
Mm,
about what you can do in service to others. And this
okay.
is where I feel like as time has gone on, I've become maybe a little bit more of a marketing critic than a marketer, because
Mm,
a lot of brands are doing this shallow surface level marketing when really it's not in service and not really speaking to the people that they want to be speaking to. And it's not fully addressing the challenges, problems that those people solve. So a
mm,
lot of people have ideas to build a brand or to do something.
yeah.
But what really matters is, outside of yourself, are you bringing an idea? Are you creating an idea that actually helps other people? Is there a need for that?
Mm,
Not how much money can we make from this, but do people actually want this?
yeah.
And that is hard, because if you have a great idea, immediately you're like, well, I have this problem. Other people probably have this problem too, but that's not always the case. You really do have to go out and ask people and talk to them and see if that really is a challenge for them.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
hard.
something so far, it's something I did not do, because some of the strategies that I learned early on, I did all of those programs like 0 to 10K,
Mhm.
right? Your 10K roadmap. It seemed like the big number, at least a couple kind of 2, 3 years ago, was that when I was getting started, was that 10K month. And so one thing they would tell you to do, and it just I couldn't ever do it, was that you play to the pain, right? You play into someone's, like, what's actually bothering them underneath the surface. And so if someone's dating and they're single, maybe they have recently been through a breakup. And so you kind of play into the pain of rejection and abandonment. Or if they're feeling really lonely, you play on maybe the isolation and loneliness piece of things. If they feel like they're not good enough, right? They're not handsome, pretty enough, they're not enough of something. You play into that. And then what happens is, surprise no surprise, you position yourself as the person that has the solution, right? The answer to their problem. And now they want to work with you. At least in
Mhm.
theory, that's how it's supposed to work. But I just wanted to get your opinion on that too.
Yeah, I think there's truth to it. People have
Yeah,
problems and you want to bring solutions to them. But
yeah,
it's a matter of how you are you being sincere about it, or are you talking to a problem that only further makes them feel like they have a problem instead of really helping them see that there is a true solution for it. I do
mm,
believe that a lot of brands start because because people need solutions to things.
yeah,
But I do think that some of the marketing advice is more about agitating someone's like issues or challenges that they face and almost making them feel less than. And I don't necessarily believe that should be the case. I think that
yeah,
you should show that you have a genuine solution for them. And what does
hmm,
that solution look like? And once again, it goes back to the actions. So how are you showing up? A lot of brands online, they really cater to getting the first sale, getting that person to come in the first time.
yeah,
Where I think a lot of brands miss the mark, and similarly going back to dating, is like, it really doesn't matter about the first date. It really doesn't matter about that first purchase. It
right,
matters consistently how you maintain that relationship with that customer, with that person that you're dating.
hmm,
It's the culmination of your actions that cultivate the brand, and it's
yeah,
the culmination of someone's actions that cultivate who they are as a person.
yeah,
So that needs to be clear and consistent. And I think right now what we're seeing is that a lot of brands who have seen opportunities to make quick money
hmm,
now are faced with being asked about their values or what they represent or
mm,
what they believe in as a brand, which a lot of
hmm,
people would argue, well, that's a brand. I don't look to them for that. But
right,
but I would challenge that though. So you would be okay if they had sweatshops. That you would be okay if they are greenwashing, but they're not actually doing things to change the climate. Like, would you be
mm,
okay with that in dating? Like, probably not. Like,
right,
so you should hold brands to the same standard. So I think consumers need to feel more empowered to put their money where their mouth is and say, I'm choosing this brand because I believe in what they stand for. And they've shown me that
yeah,
consistently over time,
yeah.
just like how you would evaluate someone in dating.
Mhm. All right, this is really interesting because, yeah, you're gonna see that play out sometimes in dating where maybe someone is kind of like positioning themselves as like, oh, right, I can take care of you. Like I've got everything you want kind of thing. Like I'm going to be your dream person. But I love that you keep saying that pay attention to those actions, like pay attention to what they're actually doing. I always say that words signal interest. Great. We want to see interest in the people we're dating, but those actions, that signals intention. And so when those words and actions start to align, when interest and intention align, that's when like you can really see how someone is showing up. And what you were just talking about, it's like I'm seeing this too. I feel like in branding and marketing, where people and companies are transitioning more to that values based marketing. Like you want to believe in the companies that you're buying from, that you're supporting with your money. And I think this language comes through in this match.com thing we read earlier about authenticity, right? Not wanting to waste your time, being able to find your person, and really so playing into those values of someone that's looking for commitment, right? Wanting to be,
play into it, but then
yeah,
you don't but then your services show otherwise. Your services
right.
make money by almost exposing people to people that they shouldn't be with, and then you're not helping them through the process. So in my mind, reading that, it sounds like a bunch of shit because I'm like, you're not actually like you're not doing what you're saying that you're doing. Like that's nice
Yeah.
that it sounds like that, but you're not actually
Mhm.
following through. As you're talking, it reminds me of that the movie Elf, where
Mhm.
they have like that sign. I think it's like world's best coffee, and he like runs in and he's like, "You did it! Like congratulations!" You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
imagine if we all looked at brands and we're like, "Oh my god, you said that you're the best! Like
Yeah.
you did it." Can you imagine doing that in dating? If someone said like, I'm a really good person. Would you be
Mhm.
like, I believe that now? You would
Right.
never. You'd be like, show me.
There would definitely be, I hope, some skepticism, right? At least a
Yes.
little bit.
Maybe I'm more skeptic. I mean, I probably come from a more skeptical side because I'm on the brand side and
Yeah.
I work with brands and I see this all the time, but you have to follow through on what you're saying. And it's not that people can't use these services. That's not what I'm saying. They
Right.
absolutely should because it helps you meet people that you might not meet otherwise.
Mhm.
But let's not fall for the fact that they're making money on our happiness. They're making our money based on our lack of ability to meet people.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say it's like these apps, they're tools, right?
Yeah,
You just got like they're a tool, and they're not a solution, they're not a one size fits all, but they're a tool in your dating toolbox so that you can meet people you might otherwise exactly never ever meet. So I
mhm.
want to kind of the transition here is I want to talk about the algorithm and community building.
Mm,
And so I want to get your perspective on not just the algorithm specific to dating apps or social media, but this idea that like how our beliefs maybe start to develop based on how we interact with the world, right? The algorithm
mm.
really being a metaphor for where intention goes, energy flows, right?
Totally. It's such a good question. I'm even working through this myself. I don't know if I have a
Yeah.
perfect answer. I think we are now more than ever, it's important for us to take a step back and actually ask ourselves what we believe in and why we believe in it,
Mm,
because we are so conditioned by these algorithms to believe and do certain things. One thing that I thought was interesting was I live in Chicago, Lollapalooza's here, and there
mm.
was a girl that had posted about Lollapalooza saying, you know, people wearing outfits at Lollapalooza this year, it's so unoriginal. Like everyone's wearing the same thing.
Okay.
And I was like, well, that's funny because everyone's wearing the same thing based on the algorithm that they're
Exactly.
served, right?
Yes. Yes.
So as much as you'd like to put yourself on a pedestal and say like I think differently, I am a different person, well
Hmm.
that might be true in certain circumstances. We're filtering our lives right now through algorithms, whether it's through dating, whether it's through social media.
Yeah.
So it's harder and harder to really understand who we are as people and why. But that's not to say that we haven't been influenced by things in the past. It just look different. So algorithms
Exactly.
are the same, they elicit the same type of social bias that we had growing up when we just talked to our friends or you
Hmm.
know for some people had phone, like it's all the same thing, it's just a different flavor. But I do
Hmm.
think it's a good exercise to be able to take a step back and say like, okay, what do I think and believe and what are my values outside of like what I'm seeing online? Like if a
Yeah.
video didn't tell you what they should be, what would you think they should be?
Ugh. Yeah, this is it's so important. Like, I mean, just kind of how the algorithm works. Like, just a simple example. Like, let's say you really like cats, and the algorithm knows that you're on social media, you're on a site somewhere, and so it's going to show you a cat video. And then it also knows you've been interacting maybe with some dating content. Maybe you're single. It knows you're a woman. Oh, so now it's maybe going to kind of play into like the single cat lady, right? You're lonely, and now it's going to start serving you some content about that, and maybe playing into some of those fears, maybe playing into some of those beliefs and biases you have about yourself. Oh my gosh, am I the last single friend? Is it never going to happen to me? And then here you go further and further, deeper and deeper. And before you know it, you may believe something about yourself that isn't even true, right? That was kind of
Mhm.
fed to you by the algorithm. But this is like, it's like you're kind of like following the breadcrumb trail.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
And
pineapple on pizza thing when everyone has that in their profile. It's like, but what
yeah,
do you think for yourself? You know, like, could you put something in there that's like your opinion or your belief? Like, I don't
yeah.
know. But something that I did last year that I think maybe everyone should consider doing is I created a separate account
Hmm.
to and condition my algorithm when the election was happening to see the other side. So I
Okay.
had two varying algorithms at play.
Yeah.
And it was really helpful for me because it allowed me to see how people were talking about things and how
Yeah.
I could broaden my perspective. I do think being exposed to things outside of what you believe and what you think is really
Hmm.
important. And I would love to see
Hmm.
in the future, whether it's dating apps or whether it's social media, more autonomy for us to pick the algorithms that we want versus
Yeah.
just being handed them to us. Like, what if I decided that I wanted to have a new hobby?
Right.
What kind of algorithm could you give me to help me discover what my next hobby should be? Could it be something that looks entirely different?
I would love that.
Same.
Yeah. What do you think about pineapple on pizza?
um, Fine. Like, or
Yeah.
people are like, I love tacos. It's like, okay, same,
Who doesn't?
like, yeah,
Yeah.
who doesn't? Like,
That's a
I don't
universal
know.
food. Mhm.
Yeah, but I also too think that there's a lot of people, and I would be curious to get your thoughts on this as well,
Mhm.
especially with your audience. There are a lot of people that are really interesting that are really bad at making dating profiles.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, part of this is sometimes it's a little bit of fear, or maybe we've been like, it's kind of that one comment theory where one person at some point in your life that you dated and you had a crush on or that you were really close to told you, like, God, you're boring. Do you not have like any interesting hobbies? Like, do you not do anything fun? And maybe you were able to brush it off, or maybe depending on the person or how you were feeling, it really sticks with you. And what we were talking about earlier, it's like we do more often than not want to put our best foot forward. We want to make that best first impression. We don't always do it in the best or healthiest ways. Like I'm watching those dating videos about the first date and seeing some of these things like that guys are saying, and I'm because that's where my algorithm is, and I'm like, oh my god! Even if your
Yeah.
intentions were like you just wanted to be impressive, oh lord. But yeah, I think it's if you want to do the pineapple and pizza, right? Yay or nay, two truths and a lie, some of those things on your dating app profiles. I get it, right? It's a place to start,
Go
but
meet
then,
people in person would be my
yeah,
advice for that person.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say the same thing. Go catch a
Yeah.
flirter too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you want like I do think how someone fills out their profile too is an indication of their maybe interest or prioritization of dating, maybe would you say?
Oh, 100%. Like I believe lazy profile, lazy dater. Like if
Mhm.
no one has, I mean, because if you're dating and you actually want a relationship or you're looking to just go on dates, you've got to give the other person enough information and knowledge to for them to be able to decide if they want to go on a date with you. So if you're
Mhm.
not putting anything in your profile, to me, you're just not really your head's not in the game. It's just sort of like, oh, I feel like I need to do this. It's like you're dating but not dating. Someone dared you to do it. Someone told you to do it. You're getting pressure from family or something. But you've got it's not just about you. It's about the people you're
Mhm.
going to date as well. And so when someone just has nothing in their profile, I'm like, really? This
What do you think
is
is a red flag in their profile?
like something like in their bio?
Yeah.
Oh, anyone, I mean, some of these basics like, no drama.
Do people say that?
Oh my gosh, all the time.
Those are like
All
the
the
most
time.
dramatic people too.
They're always,
Yeah.
always, they always bring the drama. I mean, anyone in a profile who's talking badly about an ex or a past relationship, like that is definitely going to be a red flag. Something that's not a red flag to me that maybe is to others are the fish pics.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm okay with the fish pics.
I love a
Honestly,
strong man holding a fish. Like, okay.
who cares? He's got a
Yeah.
hobby. He obviously has at least one friend. I doubt it was like a
Who's driving the
selfie.
boat? Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So, yay, he's got a friend and he does things. He gets outside.
That's true.
That's
That's a good one.
those are two green flags already.
Yeah.
Um, I want to. All right. So, how can we start to just develop a little bit of self awareness? Maybe like when we're going down these rabbit holes of the algorithm, where we're just like kind of constantly swiping on an app, or we're just like bleary eyed on social media. Like, how can we kind of catch ourselves before someone else determines what our own beliefs are, right? Because the words matter. I will always stand by this, that words matter.
It's so hard. It's
Yeah.
such a hard thing to do. Think about how people use social media right now as a way to unwind from their day
Yeah.
or to escape anxiety that they might be feeling. There's so many reasons
Mm.
why we turn to our phones.
Yeah.
And there's so many reasons why the algorithm is designed. It's designed to keep us on our phones because it's designed to be like a slot machine.
Yeah.
And I can say that as a marketer, it's important for brands, and I work with a lot of founders who are building amazing things. It's important to understand how these things work so that you can reach people, but it's also important from as a consumer to understand how it works so that you can set boundaries for yourself. I am
Mm.
not great at setting boundaries because this is my job in a lot of ways, so that's
Yeah.
something that I'm still trying to figure out for myself. One thing that I've learned is finding hobbies that keep me engaged. So love to do I love to read. I just started knitting, and knitting gives me this same desire that I have with my hands that I might get from
Mm.
scrolling. And it
Yeah.
also occupies my hands. So
Yeah.
gives me this brain space that I need to do something that's not on my phone, which I really appreciate. I love to cook. I think it's really taking a step back and evaluating what your hobbies are that don't involve technology. And it's really hard to do. It's like one of the hardest things I think you can do because you can get into these spirals where you're on your phone hoping that the next best thing is right around the corner. It's like if
Yeah.
you're in a bad mood, you're just hoping that the algorithm's going to give you a really funny video
Yeah.
that's going to make you feel better. But then what happens after that funny video? You see that funny video.
I want
Then
another one.
exactly, you
What if
keep
the
going.
next one's funnier?
Right. And that do
Yeah.
you not think that that's how dating apps feel sometimes?
Yeah. Partly for sure.
I
Yeah.
think
Got to be able.
there needs to be a cap, I think, for people. If I were I firmly believe that social media should be age restricted. First of all, I think maybe people under 18 should not have access to it because I
Yeah.
cannot imagine growing up in a world where being as insecure as I was when I grew up, that and everyone how everyone was, that would
Yeah.
be available to me. I think that would be incredibly toxic. And
Yeah.
then I think that there should be time limits on it for everyone. Just
Yeah.
like there should be some kind of encouragement for you to step outside and take a walk in nature. I think that these are all things that cultivate a healthy life. It doesn't have to be so black and white where you just don't use it at all because that's not
Right.
realistic. But there does need to be some kind of trade-off where you're putting it down and you're leaving. And
Yeah.
I'm testing different things. So I have this thing called a brick, which I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like this little device and you
Mm.
brick your phone basically and block it from
Mm.
apps so
Okay.
that you don't use them. And that's been helpful for me. There's also this app that I use on my Mac called Raycast,
Okay.
and it immediately creates a focus session and blocks everything for me that I need.
Wow.
So I have these things that I'm testing to see if it helps because even as a marketer, I have to take myself away from it. And it is hard too because I would say, oh, well, just go to a news site if you want to be informed. But I don't necessarily know if news sites are the best places to go be informed right now with everything that's
Mhm.
going on, at
Mhm.
least here in the States.
Yeah.
So I don't have a great answer for that, but I do think the answer is just at least getting away a little bit where you can and also recognizing why you're using it. For
Mhm.
dating apps, are you being intentional in using it because you want to meet someone or are you
Yeah.
just looking to pass the time?
Yeah. No, I think that was a fantastic answer. It's something I think about all the time. I'm trying different things, like different apps on my phone. Am I setting a timer? Like, am I taking, like, what am I doing so I don't all of a sudden look up and it's been like hours and I've just been scrolling. I want to ask you, because you made a video about this somewhat recently, this transition to algorithm free spaces.
Hmm.
Do you think that's going to be a trend?
I
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
And I think
Yeah.
it's going to be a trend sooner rather than later.
I
I
think
don't
so too.
necessarily know if it's going to be so algorithmic free in the beginning because of how used to the algorithms people are right now. But I do think that people are going to be searching for ways to escape algorithms that are dictated by companies that are
Yeah.
making money off of you.
Yeah. And are you seeing, I just feel like I don't really see this. It seems like every time something's happening with TikTok or something like that, it's like, oh, I'm out, I'm off, like I'm deleting the app. Do you think like people are really leaving social media just in these mass quantities?
It's Groundhog's Day. We've done this so many
Oh
times.
my gosh. Are we going to actually lose it this time? What's
We're
happening, Sam?
exhausted. I'm exhausted.
God. Yeah. Wasn't something supposed to happen like the other
Yeah.
day?
This has happened like 3 times now where things have
Yeah.
supposed to, yeah. Well, the challenge is we turned, if you look at Pew Research, Pew even
Hmm.
says this, that majority of people are now turning to social media for their news. And it's especially important sometimes because, not saying that people on social media have the best journalistic integrity. However, people are scrambling right now to find
Yeah.
sources of truth.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's a tough time right now. I hope that there are, well, there's absolutely money to be made. If we want to talk about businesses to go into, maybe one of
Yeah.
your listeners can solve for the addiction to social media or algorithms, or even at least creating more sensible boundaries around it. That is like
Yeah.
a multi-trillion-dollar business idea because
Wow.
everyone is in the same headspace right now. So just FYI, if someone wants to start that.
Hmm. Could
Yeah.
that be for future floor coach business? Another side hustle?
Yeah.
Another
One
side
more.
quest, as
Yeah.
they say? Oh my
Yeah.
God, Sam.
It's
I
a
don't
it's
think
a
I
it's a big
possibly
one.
could.
I wonder if it's going to be, if these types of experiences are going to start popping up where people can actually disconnect and they go somewhere almost like they're going to like summer camp,
Wow.
like a
Gosh.
retreat in some way.
I would love that. Adult summer camp. Yes,
Yeah.
please. I know they exist. I've never been to one, but
Right.
God,
Think about
they
it.
look
And then you could
amazing.
come back and feel refreshed and then have maybe
Mm,
more boundaries with your phone.
yeah.
But yeah, do I think algorithm free is the future? 100%. Do I think that
Yeah.
there are still going to be apps that exist that have algorithms?
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I were a billionaire right now overseeing one of these social platforms, I would be nervous, especially
Mm,
because with the political climate that we're in, people
mm-hmm.
are seeking answers to things. And if you
Yes.
have people in these positions that are bending knees to an
Mm-hmm.
administration
Mm-hmm.
to dictate what happens in the algorithms, then what are
Mm-hmm.
people going to do? They're not going to just blindly stay on those apps despite,
Yes.
whether or not their friends are on it or not. They're
Yeah.
not really even using it for that at this point. They're more so using it as their source of truth, source of news.
Yeah.
If that becomes modified in any way, which it already starts to feels like it is in some ways,
Yeah.
then where do you go? Then you go to what I think is going to be this decentralized social media movement
Um,
of leaving these platforms that are owned by these bigger companies and going
mm-hmm.
to smaller platforms that have
Mm,
smaller owners,
okay.
and you own your data. You can just move around as you
Yeah.
please.
Okay. This is really interesting. We're dancing all around current events today,
Yeah,
but
I
I
love
love
it.
it. We have to
Love
talk about this stuff.
it.
This is
And
where I wanted.
what if your future is like meeting your soulmate on a decentralized social media app? Can you
I
imagine?
I think that's a very plausible
Yeah,
reality.
I think so too.
If it's not already happening, because one thing that these platforms and the algorithm does, like I want to talk about these concepts of belonging and community,
Hmm.
where I think, yeah, sometimes we're looking for dopamine, we're looking for something fun, funny, just to get out of our heads. We're in a low mood, bad mood, we're sad, depressed. We need some stimulation, or maybe we're just bored. We might be going to these places for information if we feel like we can't trust news sources, right? If we feel like we're not getting the full picture, if we're not getting information real time, well, I know somewhere probably I can go. And then there's also this idea that we go to these places to feel like we belong somewhere, like we're not alone, like someone else believes and thinks the same in the same ways that we do. And when we start doing that, then we start to build communities, except in these communities, there's no diversity of thought and idea, maybe even of race, culture, religion, right? We kind of now exist in these algorithm free vacuums where what's even the
Is
truth
it a cult?
anymore? I, one may argue,
I know.
indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanna get your perspective on these concepts of belonging and community and just how the digital world plays into that.
It's potentially toxic
Mm,
because it's important for us as humans to experience contrast, in my opinion.
I think so too.
Yeah. So that means diversity of thought, diversity of backgrounds, diversity of values.
Hmm.
Even if we think about our dating experiences and going on dates, there might be someone that you don't click with on a date, but you have a really interesting conversation and you can appreciate and understand where they're coming from.
Mm,
And maybe that conversation also shifts the way that you think about things.
mm,
That is so important.
yeah.
And when we think about communities and cults, and I don't mean to assimilate them so casually because they are separate, but
Hmm.
they could very well become the same thing if people aren't careful. It's very important
Yeah.
that we listen to people who have transparency and integrity and are honest about things, and this divide is really going to affect us as humans, because the best thing that we
Yeah.
can do is appreciate and understand and listen to the people around us. And if we
Mm,
don't do that, then we are doing ourselves a disservice as people in that live the life that we're living right now, because that's not what life is about. It's not living in
right.
an echo chamber of your own thoughts and opinions. Think about someone that you would want to date.
Mm,
I would want someone personally who loves me and also feels comfortable challenging me and pushing me to be the very best person that I can be. And that
yeah.
might also involve me hearing things that I don't believe in or I don't want to hear. If I
Absolutely.
wanted to just get someone to kiss my ass, I would talk to AI.
Talk to have a get on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Talk to a chatbot. Thank you for always bringing
And
the conversation.
ChatGPT is like, "You're always right." And I'm like, "That's crazy. I am."
ChatGPT really such a people pleaser,
Yeah.
but
Like,
also
that's what
so
scares
funny
me about these
sometimes
people
too.
getting into these relationships with
Yeah.
AI, because it's affirming everything that they think about and everything that they do, instead of challenging them to think differently and think outside the box and eventually grow as a human.
I agree. I mean, thanks for tying it back to dating. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm trying to
There's
take
so
the
many
conversation
parallels. Yeah.
everywhere but dating. Let's talk about marketing, social media,
Yeah.
the algorithm, and you're like, no, but about dating.
Yeah.
So thank you for
Of
bringing it
course.
back to
Yeah.
be about dating. But I just like, as I've really been going down all these rabbit holes with how much rage bait is out there, like just clickbait, how much content is just being created to play into maybe those pain points, those fears, and how we're developing these communities online outside of the algorithm that are these private kind of invite only spaces, and yet they don't become these spaces where we're like, what kind of connections are we making, you know?
It's fleeting,
Yeah.
in my opinion. It's fleeting. It's not going to exist forever. I had actually a very interesting conversation with my doctor of all people yesterday,
Mm,
because I went to get my annual checkup. And when you do that, you fill out a survey of, how are you feeling about life? Like, what's going on? And I was like, I feel really good, outside of the fact that like the world feels like it's on fire. But from an emotional standpoint, like, is it affecting me? Yes. But I personally in my life, like, am happy with how things are going. But
mm,
it had a little scale of ranking. So I marked it, and then I went to go talk to my doctor and I said, just to let you know, I did this because I just feel so disappointed by everything that's happening right now.
mm,
And it's not a reflection of me and my personal life in any way, or that I'm, a hazard in any
yeah,
way or risk. It's
yeah.
more so of like what's going on. She was like, I totally understand. Every single person that's come into this office has said the same thing.
Wow.
And we had this really long conversation about how we feel about what's going on in the world. And I thought
Hmm.
her perspective was actually really helpful for me,
Mm,
because she said that we, as much as it feels like we're going backward, our technological innovations and things that are happening in the world are moving us forward too, in ways that
Yeah.
are truly beneficial. When you think about the research that's being done, or you think about, she said, well, you could look at things from a surveillance standpoint and be like, now we can always be watched. Well, it's like, well, now we can also catch someone who did something really bad because we have the technology to do so. So there's
Yeah.
two sides to it, and you could look at it either way. But I thought it was a very valid point to make, to say, yes, surveillance and things that are happening in the world can be scary.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, now someone who did something really bad can now get caught, or now there's a real digital paper trail for things that
Yeah.
didn't exist otherwise.
Shout out to your doctor.
I know, she was
That's
great.
cool.
I was like, thank
Yeah.
you so much. That was an amazing conversation. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I remain hopeful as well. I have to be. I'm a hopeful romantic. I mean, hopeful
Yeah.
in general. I think a lot of the flirties
Why do you say
are,
hopeful and not hopeless?
because I just like hopeless positioned as if like it's not gonna happen, or like somehow I've missed my opportunity. I feel like you're kind of in this mindset of like always close but just not quite there. Like you're close enough, but something's always just a little bit off or not quite right. But
Mm.
being hopeful, it just kind of flips the script. It changes the narrative in my mind. I feel like it changes my energy a little bit, and it switches this from like, oh, maybe the best was behind me, instead now the best is yet to come.
I
Like
love that.
I'm more so looking forward than in the past.
One thing that I've done actually that's been really helpful for me is, I consider myself, I'm now going to adopt that. Thank you.
Mm,
Because I've always said that I'm a hopeless romantic, but I
yeah,
really am a hopeful romantic.
yeah.
And it's true. And one thing that I've done that maybe would help other people that are listening is, once again, the algorithm can show us so many things that negatively impact how we perceive certain things. If you go on
Hmm.
the algorithm and you see someone bitching about their dating experiences and how awful it is, you
Yeah.
can't help but start to think about that for yourself, and then start to evaluate it for yourself for
Hmm.
maybe ways that don't make you feel better, right?
Yeah.
So one thing that I've done is I've created a playlist on TikTok just titled My Dream Relationship.
Hmm.
And whenever I see something that is really feel good, or something that I would genuinely cherish and value in a relationship, I add it to that playlist.
Nice.
Yeah. So like anytime I'm like feeling maybe, I don't feel ever down about it. To be honest, I don't review it that much, but it is
Hmm.
there if I ever felt really sad about things, to go and review, and then also help remind me what my values are and what I'm looking for,
Yeah.
my
I love that.
standards.
All
Yeah.
right, Flirties, there you go. And I'm gonna have your links in the show notes below for this episode, of course, to check out. Is it a public playlist?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind, never mind. You
Yeah.
can't watch that, Flirties.
Create it
Sorry,
for
you can't watch
yourself,
it.
but
But you can create it for yourself.
yeah.
This is really, really hopeful because I feel like we're in this era of grievances, right?
Hmm.
And we've probably been here for a while. And to relate it to dating, it's this kind of like I'll hear from hear from the ladies, right? All men are trash, or like the
Yep.
guys, this narrative that just seems to be pushed over and over and over again. That right, the women they're all gold diggers, and so you
Is
feel
that
like,
one that people are saying?
oh my God, Sam,
What?
this was I don't even one of the rabbit holes I went down. This is a massive narrative being pushed, particularly I find in some of these algorithm free spaces and really on Facebook.
What?
Oh my God, I stumbled upon page after page of these men's coaches talking to other men, and these pages had subscribers, the subscriber counts in the hundreds of thousands.
Disgusting.
It was, I'm like, like, what do what do I do? Like,
If I think about
how?
anyone I'm around, any woman, they would never ever say that they're one, ever.
Yes. And but it's like this little bit of coded language you see in a lot of dating content, right? Positioning men like that you if you're dating the guys that you want someone that's high value, right? That's a provider, and that positioning like women you want to be right in your feminine energy, which is like fine, but like look at how some of
But
the
it's like, what does
language
it
is coded.
mean?
I
Yeah.
know.
It also shows you that you cannot appreciate yourself for exactly who you are. And that's
Yeah.
challenging. What does it mean to be high value?
Oh
Like,
my
what does that
God.
even entail? I constantly
It's
hear
such a
this.
vague,
It's
it's,
so vague. And what does it mean? Like,
yeah,
once again, show up in your actions day to day.
yeah.
Don't like say that you're high. I've had people, friends that have gone on dates where people will say like, I'm high value or I value these things. Like, okay, let's see it.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's see the
thanks for
actions.
telling me, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's see it.
Are
If
you
someone's a gold digger, is that showing up in their actions or are you making assumptions for people?
right? Are you putting pineapple on your pizza or not?
Yeah,
What
exactly.
is it?
What is your action? Go
Like,
do it and then let me watch, you know?
yeah, I mean, I've been like just staying up late night after night as of late. How do I want to show up and how do I want to talk about dating and relationships and just try and find a way to do that that brings it back to maybe what Match.com was talking about, authenticity,
Stop.
right? Finding right the one. Yay. Gosh. Maybe I'm more aligned with Match.com than I thought. Just kidding. Just
I
kidding.
know, please don't. I'm like, no, 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 no. Delete that. Delete
I
that.
will not. I will
Yeah.
not sell out. I will not do it. I promise. You've
Yeah.
never seen a dating app collaboration here at Flirt
Yeah,
Headquarters,
please do not do that.
and
Yes.
I suspect you never will.
Yeah, good.
Mm-mm.
But I
All
love it.
right.
Even having these conversations though is you're doing your audience, you're helping them so much because
I hope so.
we collectively need to talk about it much more than saying like men are trash, women are gold diggers, or dating apps suck or they don't suck. Like I think they suck because they're hypocritical, but they
Mm.
still are ways that you can meet someone and you just
Yeah,
have to take it at face value and then decide for yourself if it's worth it or not.
absolutely. All right, we're going to start to conclude the conversation. Somehow we're going to have to. This has gone by so quickly. There are just two more things I wanted to touch on before we say goodbye. One, you mentioned a few moments ago about this surveillance culture, which I
Mhm.
find right, has positive and negatives, right? Like I think about one of the negatives could be bullying, and then one of the positives, which maybe you could think is bullying, like these Facebook groups of like all the guys on Tinder and Hinge you don't want to date, right? Right. And there's like screenshots and all the things, and if you're that guy, you're probably like, God damn it. But also, just be better, like
Yeah,
be
right.
better today. Yeah,
Just be a good person. Yeah.
yeah. And so the future, we're going to end here talking about AI.
Love.
I don't even know what question to
Okay,
ask.
great.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're already here. Like a lot of us are using Chat GPT for dating
We're using
advice
it
as
for
our
everything.
therapist. Yes, for
Yeah.
everything.
I use it for like my dog's medical records. I've uploaded everything and I
Wow,
will talk to it like it's a vet. Not that I don't
amazing.
go see a vet, but it's like in between if I have questions about like his diet or his health, right?
Yeah,
Is AI evil? This is all so subjective. There is no objective way to look at these things.
yeah,
So, once again, it requires people to take a step back and determine for yourself what do you believe and why do you believe it?
yeah.
I don't think it's so black and white that AI is evil and AI is amazing.
Right.
Just like surveillance is going back to what my doctor said. Is it a bad the word surveillance has a certain connotation that says that you're being watched all the time and
Mm,
to a degree that's already happening.
yeah.
And
Oh
to a
yeah.
degree for everyone that's saying that they don't use AI, you have been using AI. Every time you
Yes.
go use Netflix, you're using AI.
Mm,
So there's no way to circumnavigate these things unless you want to go back and like there's these YouTubers that live in the 1800s, like they actually that's their YouTube channels, like they'll like go live in like olden
oh
times,
my God.
which doesn't really
I
make sense because like they have YouTube, but
Yeah.
like that's a
How
little
are you
contradictory.
are you recording this? Do you have
Yeah,
electricity?
exactly, right, like
How's the
some old
Wi-Fi?
yeah,
5G? What's
exactly.
happening?
What's the password? Like they're doing this. Like if you want to go live quote unquote off the grid,
Yeah.
you can do that. I don't think your life is going to be better if you do that. I think
Right.
you're going to realize that despite everything that's going on, you can use these things the way that you want to help yourself,
Yeah.
in ways that you want to help yourself.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's like a very broad, maybe non-answer, but it's not black and white. You're probably already being surveilled and
Yeah.
you probably already use AI, even if you are against it. Do I think that you should support with your money companies that you don't believe in? No, of course not. Use your
Mhm.
wallet to support companies that you believe in. But
Oh, I love a boycott. I
Love
sure
a good
do.
boycott. Oh my
I
god.
have
I wake up
got
and I'm like, "Who are we boycotting today?"
I'm obsessed with it. I've boycotted
Yeah,
so many companies
yeah.
and it's artists,
Oh
right?
god, same,
Musicians, like
same.
across the board,
Yeah,
love a boycott, and I
love a
don't
boycott.
miss anything or anyone I've
Yeah,
boycotted
yeah,
at
it's
all.
great. Right.
Hmm.
So, but you're doing that based in your values. So
Yes.
that's something that's really important to you. I think if you are boycotting AI, you will have to do a much deeper evaluation of where AI is popping up
Mm,
because it's everywhere now. Like you are
it
not going to be able
is.
to listen to Spotify without AI. So if you're
Gosh.
really that against AI,
Yeah.
and I respect it. Just know who you're supporting and why you're supporting it. But yeah, I love a boycott too. I'm like, I'm not going to Target. Good luck.
Right. And I haven't quite boycotted AI just yet. I don't
I
know.
mean,
I
if
know
you
that
do
one's
it,
going to
then
be
pick and
hard.
choose. Pick and
Pick and
choose.
choose, pick and choose. Because it is here. It's here to stay. It
Yes.
is a part of everything we do. Like you mentioned, Netflix, Spotify already. If you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, right? Maybe it came was a suggested video. The algorithm was like, you
Yeah.
might like this. Like sometimes I think about AI from the perspective of connection, right? Like what
That's really nice of you.
happens.
Oh, like I thought you were saying like I connect with it.
Oh, well, a little bit. AI gets me.
But when you're
But
saying connection, what do you mean by that?
like AI is it's not a person. It's not like I think we might be like wading into this territory where you almost feel like this kinship with a, a machine, right? With super chips housed in
Mhm.
some warehouse, maybe thousands of miles away. Like it doesn't replace that human connection and interaction. Like it doesn't replace leaving your house, your apartment, whatever, and just going to a concert or meeting new people or going out and
Mhm.
flirting, right? Like,
Totally. The pendulum always swings back. I think the people that are focused on AI right now and think that it is the solution for everything will realize that the contrast of AI versus human connection, how important human connection is to their own development, to their own
oh yeah,
growth, to their own connection with other people. We're already starting to see it happen.
yeah,
So we can demonize AI, but I do think that people are going to naturally swing back the other way of being like,
I
just like
agree.
people have with dating. A lot
Yeah,
of people are like, I don't want to use the apps. I want to go meet someone in person. Love
yeah.
that.
I could talk to you forever. Sam,
So
this has
fun.
been so much fun. I want to send the Flirties your way to your socials where they can follow you, find you, and learn more.
Yeah. I'm at Sam Ogborn, SAMOGBORN on Instagram and YouTube,
Okay.
and which I need to get better at. That's my project this week.
All right, we can both do that. I'm recently have like rededicated myself to YouTube as well. This whole
Great.
conversation will be streaming on YouTube. I'll tag you.
Amazing. Okay, yes, love. And then
Yes.
on TikTok, I'm Sam Ogborn with two N's.
Hmm.
And that's it. I don't know.
That's yeah, that works for me. I'll
Yeah.
send all the flirties your way. Your videos are just it's like a stop the scroll for me. Like every time
Thank
you come up,
you.
I'm like, I am watching a Sam video for
Oh,
sure.
it's
I will
fine.
have your YouTube as well as your socials here in the show notes. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you. So
on the
fun.
show today.
Yeah. Thank you.